Hello, welcome to today's edition of the ISO 9001 Clause Explainer series. Today we're going to be talking about Clause 4 of the ISO 9001 2015 standard. I'll just take you through um, a summary of what the clause is all about. Right, so sit tight. Like I said, we're going to be dealing with clause 4, and the objectives of clause 4 is to help you understand the concept of the organization. Clause 4 is already known as the context of the organization, which is also known as COTO. It talks about interested parties and how to manage them, and also how to identify internal and external issues. So let's delve into clause 4.1, which is understanding the organization and its context. Context of the organization, also known as COTO in some organizations, defines issues that are relevant to the purpose of the organization, issues that are relevant to strategic direction of the organization, and issues that affect its ability to achieve intended results. We have internal issues. Issues are categorized into internal and external issues. Now, internal issues are those issues which are within the control of the organization. We talk about capability of process, availability of skilled personnel, etc. And then external issues are those issues that are not within the control of the organization but will or may affect the organization's processes. And these are possibly legal issues, technical issues, market competition, cultural, and regional issues. Now, do note that these requirements will need to be monitored and reviewed periodically. Okay, so you need to have them documented, and then you have to monitor and review this information to show compliance with the clause 4.1. Now, let's look at what the standard says about clause 4.1. The organization shall determine external and internal issues that are relevant to its purpose and strategic direction and affect its ability to achieve the intended result of its quality management system. The organization shall monitor and review information about these external and internal issues, and issues can include a positive and negative factor or conditions for consideration. What this means is that issues do not always have to be negative. Issues can, pose a market interest for expansion. Issues can also bring, a possibility for growth, and it doesn't always have to be negative. Yeah, so issues can be positive and negative as well. Understanding the external context can be facilitated by considering issues arising from legal, technological, competitive, market, cultural, social, and economic environments, right? Whether international, national, regional, or local, understanding the internal context can be facilitated considering the issues that are related to the values of the organization. Okay. Now let's move to clause 4.2. Clause 4.2 deals with understanding the needs and expectations of interested parties. Interested parties are relevant to the quality management system. Interested parties could be your customers, your suppliers, industrial associations, legal authorities, staff, community, etc. You need to understand their requirements that are relevant to your organization's quality management system. For instance, your customer specific requirements, you should have it documented and monitor and review this information to help you be compliant to the clause 4.2. Now let's look at what the standard says about clause 4.2. Due to their effect or potential effect on the organization's ability to consistently provide products and services that meet customer and applicable regulatory requirements, the organization needs to determine the interested parties that are relevant to the quality management system, the requirements of these interested parties, and then the organization shall monitor and review information about these interested parties and their relevant requirements to enable these requirements be met timely and within the confines and limits of the organization's capability. Now, let's look at clause 4.3, determining the scope of the quality management system. Boundaries and applicability of the quality management system give consideration to external and internal issues that we mentioned in clause 4.1, requirements of relevant interested parties that we mentioned in clause 4.2, and then stating the products and services covered by the organization and the justification for clauses that are not applicable. Please note that clause 4.3 needs to be maintained as a documented information. That is the scope of the organization. The scope of the organization is also known as the scope of the management system. Let's look at what the standard says about clause 4.3. The ISO 9001 2015 international standard states clearly that the organization shall determine the boundaries and applicability of the quality management system to establish its scope. When determining the scope, the organization shall consider the external and internal issues referred to in clause 4.1, requirement of relevant interested parties referred to in clause 4.2, and then the products and services of the organization. So you will apply all the requirements of the international standard if they are applicable within the determined scope of the organization's quality management system. Right. Now let's move over to clause 4.4. 4.4 deals with the quality management system and its processes. You will need to determine process inputs that are required, the expected output of the process inputs, the sequence and interaction of processes, then determine and apply criteria and method needed to ensure effective operation control. Ensure availability of resources, information, addresses risk and opportunities. Evaluate process and implement changes, then improve the process. What does the standard say about clause 4.4? The standard says that the organization shall establish, implement, maintain, and continually improve a quality management system, including the processes needed and the interactions in accordance with the requirements of this international standard. The organization shall determine the processes needed for the quality management system and the application throughout the organization. Then 4.4.2, the organization shall also maintain documented information to support the operation of these processes retain documented information to have confidence that the processes are being carried out as planned. In conclusion, ISO 9001 2015 Clause 4 emphasizes the importance of understanding the context of the organization and the needs and expectations of interested parties to establish an effective quality management system. By identifying internal and external issues that may impact its objectives, the organization can better align its strategic direction from its quality management practices. This proactive approach not only ensures compliance with ISO standard but also fosters continuous improvement and enhanced customer satisfaction. Ultimately, Clause 4 serves as a foundational element guiding organizations to integrate quality management into their core operations for sustained success and competitiveness in the global markets. If you have enjoyed this explainer on Clause 4 and you've watched to this point, thank you. If you have any questions on clause 4 or any other clause in the quality management system clauses, please drop your questions in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.